A shield it was, glimmering in the sun, silent and quiet, there it laid, no questions to ask, no answers to give, except the wounds it proudly portrayed. Hello everyone, this is the Holy Hermit, and welcome to another video of mine. Today we'll be looking at a shield-centric build for Monk in Diablo 3. As always, we will start off by looking at the skill setup. First skill is Deadly Reach with Keen Eye. We want to kite with this build. Strange idea, is it not? We're not tanking after all, but we are kiting. We have Keen Eye to give us more armor. Sweeping Wind with Cyclone. Why Cyclone? Well, to gain more lifesteal. Every time you hit someone, the tornadoes are generated, and they, in turn, have a chance to steal life for you if you have the right kind of weapon. Seven-Sided Strike, Sudden Assault, our primary damage dealing skill. It can teleport you to a target, so every time you're kiting, there's a molten pool in front of you. You can, rather than going into it, you can jump by using Seven-Sided Strike. Serenity with Tranquility. A weird choice, is it not? We are using a shield that can protect us and a friend around us for just 1 second. Why 1 second? Is it useful? Well, we'll find out more about it. And there's our ally. Not a player, I guess, a mystic ally with Eternal Ally. It has a 50% chance to be reborn every time it dies after 5 seconds. It also deals 44% of your attack. Mantra of Evasion with Hard Target. All we want is more armor. Well, evasion helps you to evade, and armor gives you more armor to take more hits. One with Everything. Almost essential unless you have a very godly build, I'm afraid. Again, more armor from your dexterity, 50% of that is. Seize the Initiative, an important one. And to round it all off, we have Beacon of Itar, that reduces your cooldown by 20%. Now we move on to the video and the gameplay aesthetics. Almost every build you'll encounter, with a shield that is, the idea for that build would be to take all the incoming damage, try and block it, and well, have more armor if you do get hit to reduce the damage. In this one, we're going to mix up a blend of abilities, even the skills themselves, where the first idea would be to only take damage in the physical form. So that's a very important aspect of this build. What we will be focusing on in this video is to have high armor rather than high resistance. High resistance are all well and good. I have around 650 resist all with this build, but I have a tremendous amount of armor. Well, I have 7k unbuffed armor, as in, every time I cast Mantra of Evasion, it's going to give me 20% more. And now we look at our primary skill. Why did we choose Deadly Strike? The first idea is to avoid these all molten pools, these desecrator pools even. They're all around you. Why to stand in them? It's nice and easy to tank, but you'll see later on in the video when you play on higher monster powers, this is an issue. No matter how strong you are, the elites are made in such a way to give you a hard time. So why not give them a hard time in return? All it takes for you to is sidestep for a second, and so you can avoid this whole effect after all. So, rather than focusing on getting high resistances, we focus on armor. Another reason being, well, it's very cheap to gear up an armor-centric build. So now, we look at one main aspect of the Monk, that is, Dexterity. And Dexterity grants you dodge chance. So that explains why we went for, well, Mantra of Evasion. So as far as buffs go, the two buffs that we do receive from, well, our skill setup would be, of course, the Mantra of Evasion and Keen Eye. You can also add Seize the Initiative to it if you want to. Well, that is more of a passive skill. But anyways, now we move on to another aspect of this build. We've chosen quite a few strange skills, as I said earlier. Seven-Sided Strike. I could have gone for a lower cooldown on it. Well, I could have gone for Sudden Assault, that will reduce the cooldown to 23 seconds, and then 20% more because of a Beacon of Itar, but what I'd rather prefer is to strike an opponent from a distance. So when you're utilizing Deadly Reach to strike from a distance, and you're kiting monsters away on higher monster powers, something like 10 that is, well, you hit them from a distance, and when they all surround you, you use your, well, Seven-Sided Strike. You hit them, and you hit them hard, and then you're back in your kiting position again. That is the sole reason of using Seven-Sided Strike. Another aspect of this build is using Serenity with a shield that protects an ally for 1 second. Not a lot of duration, is it? But 1 second is still good enough for an ally to survive. And speaking of an ally, we are using Eternal Ally. Comes the next patch 1.0.7? well, this ally would have a 100% chance of being reborn, so he'll always be on your side, and he can kite for you, he can distract enemies for you, and when he's taking too much damage, the shield will help him to survive a lot longer. Well, you'd rather have a guy fighting for you all the time than him respawning again and again. That is the principle of this. Also, if you play on with your other friends who've got different classes, I'm sure they'll all appreciate you using Serenity on them. Now these are all the skill choices, and as I always say, skills are more important than, well, having a good gear, but I will talk about the kind of weapon you're after, the kind of shield that is. What I go for, of course, it should have a higher block chance. The higher it is, better it is for you. Any main stat you're after, be it dexterity for you guys, or if you're barbarian, well, you know what to go for and all, you can use that. More importantly, what I also go for is having all resistance and a bit of extra armor on it. And finally, the most important in my opinion on a shield would be to have high critical hit chance. If you're a monk, I'm sure you all know how critical hit chance is important to all of us. The more it is, the more these cyclones and tornadoes will spawn for us, the more life will steal. Right now I have about 66% chance, critical hit chance. Quite a lot, is it not? So that's the whole idea of having a shield. You do lose some DPS, but you gain lots of tanking ability, and you also get that much needed critical hit chance. So to round it all up, all you need for this build to work is to have a decent shield and your supreme knowledge of skills that you've gained from this video, I believe. So give it a go, see if it works for you in high monster powers or not. This has been the Holy Hermit for you, and the build I showed you today is a build that works with a shield. It's not exactly a tanking build now, is it? It utilizes Monk's dodge chance and with the armor, of course, so it is a different idea after all. If you have any questions about this build or anything else in Diablo, please leave it in the comment section below. I will try to answer that in my humble opinion, well, such as it is. I'll give it a go. Apart from that, it's weekend now, so I hope you all have a nice weekend ahead. Do something cool that you've not done before, I guess. But anyways, thanks ever so much for listening to my video. I hope this build will help you. And I'm signing out now. Thanks ever so much for listening. Bye.